one of your guys' products where you emerged from the deep, dark interproximal space where you like to live. I know you're all about the interproximal space, but I was really happy when you guys came out with something that's near and dear to my heart after being in the lab industry for so long, and that's the PrepSure guides.
Okay.
Because at any laboratory in the United States, it doesn't matter if it's a big production lab or a high-end lab that's charging $800 for a crown. Every laboratory in the country has the same issue, and that is dentists are not reducing enough. And part of the reason for that is they don't have a good way to measure how much they've reduced.
Exactly.
Tell me about what, this is another example of a product I kept thinking of, we need something like this, but then I don't have your perseverance. I don't go any farther. So thankfully you did. What was your inspiration for the PrepSure guides?
I have pretty confidence that for crown prep, I'm doing really right.
You're a prosthodontist. Yeah, you
Yeah.
should be. Right. I agree.
But once in a while, I was called by the lab, telling me that not enough occlusal clearance. So I said, oh, should it be enough, but not enough. So and then I bring it back to me. So I'll take a look. So I take a look, measuring, but we don't have any mechanically proven the measuring device.
Right.
Actually. So I believe it was good, but somebody doesn't believe it. So we have to make some kind of standard. So that's why I invented the PrepSure.
And it comes in a 1 millimeter thickness,
Yeah,
1.5, and 2
right,
millimeter
2
thicknesses
millimeters.
for all kinds of crowns.
And I designed it very convenient, so you don't have to see the space, the ocular clearance
Right.
by then. I just put this one, close your teeth, please, and just through and through. When it's stuck, there's not enough.
Right.
And then mostly when it's stuck, there's the lingual side.
Yes.
Just a little adjusted. And through, oh, that's good.
Well, I can tell you from the laboratory that 95% of the teeth that don't have enough reduction, it's always the lingual cusp.
Right.
Always. And there's a weird optical illusion that when a dentist, like on an upper first molar, if they reduce a lot on the buccal, it makes it look like there's enough reduction on the lingual.
Right.
But there's not.
No,
but
not
it looks
really.
like there is the more you reduce on the buccal. It's this weird optical illusion. So the lab gets to cheat, because they can always take the model and look from the lingual and see it, but we can't see through our patients'
Right.
necks. And so we don't really need a way to measure reduction on the buccal cusp. That's
Right.
the easy one. It's that lingual cusp. And that's the genius of the PrepSure guides is the patient closes without anything in their mouth. So they
Right.
close all the way into maximum intercuspation. And then you put the instrument in and you
Right.
take it from the over the buccal into the central groove and
Right.
over the lingual
So good
as well.
thing is, because this one, PrepSure, goes through along the cuspal wave of
Right.
the perforation, that preserve the dentin,
Right.
so we don't have to cut unnecessarily.
Yeah, like a flat tabletop.
Right,
You don't have
right.
to do that.
So that flat is common,
Right.
but we need to preserve the healthy dentin, the making by the cuspal wave.
Right. I'm going to challenge every dental laboratory right now. I'm going to look right into the camera. I'm talking to you, dental laboratories of the United States. You need to take your doctors who have high remakes due to inadequate occlusal reduction. You need to call ContactEZ and order, 40 sets of the PrepSure guides and send them to your doctors with the highest remakes and have them watch the videos that's been created to show them how to use this. It's embarrassing a little bit as a dentist for me to look at the lab industry because they're now designing all their crowns digitally on a computer. And so they scan a stone model and now they see a digital representation on the
Right.
screen. They click the opposing tooth, they click the prep tooth, and they see there's 0.84 millimeters, and they're supposed to be a millimeter. So as a dentist, we can't even argue and say, no, I'm pretty sure there's a millimeter, because they'll send you a screenshot of the computer and say, no, look, there's not a millimeter. And so we need a way to be able to quickly and accurately see how much we've reduced, because the lab is going to digitally check how much we reduced, and we should be embarrassed if we're just guessing. I call it prep and pray, where you prep and then hope there's enough reduction. You close one eye and you look way back in the mouth where it's dark. It's 100% humidity. It's practically raining in the back of someone's mouth, and you're trying to look through this, and it's silly, for dentists to think that they can accurately do that, especially knowing that it's usually the lingual cusp. That's the problem. So I think, and I was so happy to hear that there's dental schools who are coming on board and getting the PrepSure guides for their students, because this is something we need to teach very early on.
Right.
Because they teach you in school, we used to use depth cuts, to prep teeth. But then when you get out in the real world, over half of what a doctor does is take off an old crown, like your 2-year-old crown, take off an old one and put a new one on. And now you can't use depth cuts because your references are all gone. And so the PrepSure guides work on 100% of the cases.
Right.
They're easy. There's no bite registration. There's no anything else. It's simple, straightforward. That's my favorite product that you've ever come out with, just because for 15 plus years we've been fighting inadequate occlusal reduction. So I love the PrepSure guides, and I'm really happy. And I told you I only have one request, is a 0.6 millimeter one for solid zirconia.
Yeah, just 1 millimeter, the safe.
Yeah, and 1 millimeter, that's true. So 1 millimeter is the ideal thickness for solid zirconia. 0.6 is the minimum, but that is kind of pushing it, because if you have a crown made at 0.6 of a millimeter, you can't do any occlusal adjustments. You have to adjust the natural tooth to keep the crown from breaking. So that's a good point. The 1 millimeter is the ideal thickness.